destroyed and families displaced as gunmen struck in coordinated assault. A calls for justice and urgent government action. A mountain, human rights groups, local leaders and citizens are demanding swift justice, accountability and greater security measures to prevent further bloodshed. Tonight, let's speak with TVC Bolarinwa, President Think Yoruba First organization. He joins me virtually from Germany. Good evening to you, sir. Thanks a lot for joining us on the program this evening. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, madam. I'm happy to be here.
Right, thanks a lot for joining us. So let's start with Kwara State, where reportedly 9 local government areas are under siege. I've personally contacted Senator Lola Shiru. He's representing Kwara South and House of Reps members, Ismail Tijani, just to get this proper insight into what exactly is happening in their districts. But none of these men has gotten back to me. But in the meantime, what exactly is your organization's take or understanding of the root causes of the security crisis in those communities?
Yeah, thank you very, very much. It's nice to be back here again. What is currently happening is what many security experts they've predicted. For instance, Niger State has been one of the most bandits and terrorist ravaged areas of Nigeria for the past few years. And Niger State is a neighboring state just across River Niger to Kwara State. Also across the border in Benin Republic, very close to the Bariba region, there has been many cases of Al-Qaeda affiliated and ISIS affiliated organizations, groups wreaking havoc along the border. So what many of us thought the Nigerian government would have been very proactive. When I mean the Nigerian government, from the state to the federal, even the local government, would have been proactive to know that once these people cross across, once we have insurgency in Niger State, it's Kwara State and Kogi State are probably going to be the next flashpoint. But unfortunately, the government has not been proactive enough, which is why we have this chaos that we currently see across that place. And also, like many of us have also predicted, the chaos across the Sahel, in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Niger, and currently in northern Benin Republic, Nigeria is not going to be spared. Many of those places are largely ungoverned territories. So what we should be talking about is proactive measures. As we speak, I think the Oyo State government should be also, Oyo State, Ondo State, Osun State, they should also be proactive because Oyo State also has borders with those very, very, very dangerous terrain. So this is what we think. If the government is proactive enough, we will not have this problem at all.
So if you're talking about proactiveness, what exactly do you think the federal and state governments should do? I mean, in other words, how do you evaluate the role of state governments? I'm talking about Kwara and Kogi states now, federal security apparatus at this moment, in terms of response and prevention, because Governor Abdulrazak supported security agencies with logistics and like vehicles and motorcycles to fight these criminals. Do you think there is enough coordination between federal and state governments on this matter?
Unfortunately, Nigeria loves the fire brigade approach to solve a lot of problems. And it's unfortunate that the replay of what happened in the Northwest is currently happening in Kwara and Kogi. The problem, the insecurity of these bandits, terrorists, no matter the kind of name we call them, started from the Northeast, and gradually it has now transferred, it is now coming straight down to the north, from the Northeast now to the Northeast, now to the Northwest, from the Northwest now to the North Central. So we should know that this thing is systematic. This thing is very, very organized. It is moving down from the core north down to the south. And this does not portray well. Firstly, we should not even be having arguments about state police currently. State police should have been done. as quickly as possible the way we solved the issue of tax issues. So the states basically are also not proactive enough. Look at what the Southwest governors did. So the Southwest governors, they understood that there was a problem in the Southwest. They created Amotekun. So every state in Nigeria should have followed that route to have their own security apparatus that it was going to complement what we have at the federal level. Unfortunately, they did not do that. And now we are now in this mess. So what the state government should be doing now, the state of emergency on security should be declared across Nigeria. Because no matter the economic policies that we want to do, without security, we will not be able to achieve anything. Also, we also need to stop politicizing security. Insecurity has been politicized, especially in many regions in Nigeria. Because of the politicization of security, now all of us are now in this quagmire, and this needs to stop. And that is why we reached out, we wrote some letters to the Kwara state government that you cannot continue to pamper a cancer, because apart from that, Kwara state is a gateway state into the entire Southwest. What happens in the South in Kwara state affects Oyo state, affects Ekiti state, affects Ondo state. I read in the news not long ago that the Nigerian military, they killed some bandits along the Kwara-Ekiti border. So meaning that these people are already conducting operations. I'm talking about the non-state actors, the bandits, these terrorists are already conducting interstate operations along those borders. Most of these borders are ungoverned territory. And the Nigerian military system, the Nigerian security apparatus is already overstretched. It's overstretched. Almost across the Northwest, the Northeast, and the North Central, there are different chaos, instability, insecurity that is currently happening. So state police should have been done as soon as possible, because only the living can shout praise the Lord.
Yeah,
that's the bitter truth.
That's an initiative that is still, the federal government is still deliberating on that. But apart from that, what kind of support, both immediate and long term, do you expect from the federal government? Now I'm talking about the affected victims and communities.
Firstly, what I was expecting was to see the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs already in seeing them in Kwara South, taking care of both psychological well, because many of the people that were displaced from their homes, from many of these towns and villages, are already traumatized. Oftentimes, we even talk about treating people that are physically traumatized, people that are suffering from physical wounds. What about people that have been almost permanently displaced all across Nigeria from their indigenous space, especially our people in Kogi West and our people in Kwara South? The reason why we are not seeing IDP camps springing left, right, and center in huge numbers in Kwara South is that many of the people in Kwara South, they have family members in Ilorin. So the level of the disaster, the level of the chaos that we are witnessing is not still in full glare. And we must understand, these bandits are not just unorganized people. What they are doing is is a form of non-asymmetric warfare, crippling and displacing population and creating crisis all across Nigeria. And this is very, very dangerous. And the federal government needs to declare a state of emergency as soon as possible. We don't want another Katsina. We don't want another Zamfara very close to the Southwest. Because if that happens, the biggest economic bloc in Nigeria will also be threatened. The North Central, which is the middle belt of Nigeria, is the food basket of Nigeria. For the past 10, 15 years, there has been attacks, destruction, and killing of thousands of agrarian communities. Now, that was one of the things that culminated in the price of foods across Nigeria. which led to a lot of inflation in food prices. Now, what about the Southwest, which is the industrial base, the economic base, the service base, the manufacturing base? So the federal government, as a matter of urgency, should leave politics and declare a state of emergency. It is true you said that the federal government is trying to do some things as regards to state police. The urgency, to me, is not enough. The urgency is not enough. And those that want to continue to politicize insecurity, if this country explodes, many of them are dual citizens, they are permanent residents of many of these Caribbean countries. They are going to run away from Nigeria. So we need to ensure that things are done as soon as possible.
And you know, the truth is, despite government efforts, bandits have persisted in some of these communities. But what exactly is the group's position on community self-defense or vigilantes' actions in these communities?
Thank you very much. The first thing that I am saying on behalf of many Yoruba people throughout the world is that it is wrong for Miyetti Allah vigilantes to be deployed to be securing the lives of Yoruba people. The Yoruba people in Kwara State are the majority in Kwara State, and they have the ability to also create their own vigilantes. What we heard, it's in public view, that the state government was hiring Miyetti Allah vigilantes. Why should a socio-cultural organization having a paramilitary outfit and to be securing the lives of people that they are not even indigenous to? So these are the things that are very, very suspicious and very, very ridiculous. You cannot bring I'm not trying to, we know the ethnicity of the bandits, according to the videos and evidences we're saying, that are carrying out this non-stop attack against all Nigerians across Nigeria. But it will be unfair for you to now bring in non-indigenous people, and they are not state actors, vigilantes, paramilitias, to be safeguarding the lives of indigenous people. The indigenous people, firstly, they are not going to cooperate. So the issue of community cooperation, where people are going to report and give the right intel for the vigilantes to work, is not going to happen, because all insecurity are local. That's number one. So we want the Kwara state government to empower Yoruba vigilantes to secure Yoruba land in Kwara State. It is unfair for our people, for outsiders to be brought. They are not police, they are not army to be securing, and we've seen it's failed. It has failed. And also, you also saw there's a letter that the Alafin for your wrote to the Kwara state government, that if they need the help of Amotekun or they need the help of other vigilante groups like OPC to secure the lives of our people in Kwara State, they should allow us to come and do it.
All right, then. There are reports also that the Department of State Services withdrew ammunition from forest guards shortly before that attack or the attacks. I'm wondering, how do you interpret its timing? Some community members believe this withdrawal directly weakened local defense and gave the bandits a window to strike. Do you share this view?
Firstly, the Department of Research and the think tank units of TYF, we've been writing a kind of blueprint paper to study the bandits. The so-called bandits, are targeting mineral resources, regions, and zones. From Zamfara to Katsina to Niger State to Kwara State. Kwara South, especially that particular area from Babala, Okiode, and all those places are places where artisanal mining are taking place. So, and all crimes are local. There is no way these bandits can be getting logistics, feeding, moving around without support of people on ground. So the intelligence, so what we have is not just a ragtag group of people that showed up from nowhere and they started destroying people. No. These are people that have been in that community. They know the in and out of the forest. They know the in and out of the community. They know when to strike. They know they've been able to dig in defense system and they are really terrorizing the indigenous people. So this, in fact, what we think is that a new theater of operation should be declared as soon as possible in Kwara South before these people dig in and we have another Zamfara case on our hands. Also, we also want to say this. Negotiating with bandits is not going to solve insecurity in Nigeria. You don't negotiate with terrorists. It has never solved any problem. It didn't work in Zamfara. It did not work in Katsina. It did not work in Kaduna. It didn't work across all these places I've mentioned. So negotiating with them or paying ransom is not going to solve this problem. These people must be properly flushed out, and the indigenous people must be empowered. When I mean empowered, they must be recruited into vigilantes because they know the land. It is their ancestral place. They are ready to die and preserve their ancestral place. The Kwara State government must stop bringing Miyetiela vigilante into Yoruba land to secure Yoruba land. It's a travesty.
All right, well taken, Mr. Bolarinwa. And I also want to get your perspectives to the broader structure of community-based security and its vulnerability to federal security decisions. What's your take on that?
Firstly, the centralized security system in Nigeria was a disaster waiting to happen. Nigeria was secure because our neighbors were stable for the past 50 years. And Nigeria does not, I'm sorry to say this, we don't quickly adapt to our problems. I have to give kudos to the Nigerian military. They've been able to contain ISIS to a particular section of the northeast. We've seen what is happening. We've seen what has happened to Boko Haram, to Niger, to Burkina Faso, to Central African Republic, in Sudan, to Chad, even in Cameroon. The military of those places are struggling to contain these non-state actors. So what the Nigerian government should do, because what some of us fear is what is currently happening, because we don't want ethnic militias to start springing up all across Nigeria. If it happens, we are going to be in trouble.
All right.
The Nigerian government must democratize, decentralize. When I mean democratize, decentralize the security apparatus. Desperate times need desperate measures. We need to secure the lives of our people as soon as possible. And the state of emergency, when I mean state of emergency, I'm not talking about the removal of the governor, so that the governors of Kogi and Kwara are not going to say, I'm talking about their removal. I'm talking about state of emergency declared on the security system. So we believe that Nigeria is too heterogeneous. Nigeria is too wide. Nigeria is too diverse. Different vegetation, different realities, different customs, different civilization, for us to have a one centralized policing system. It has not worked. And we cannot continue to repeating the same thing all over and over again is the definition of insanity. So Nigeria needs the different federating units up to local governments must have a security apparatus controlled by the states, which is made up of indigenous people to protect their people, to protect themselves. Because we don't want situations where external factors, external elements, people that are interested in Nigeria, like I'm talking about powers, foreign powers, that are interested in Nigeria exploding, start arming some non-state actors, which can lead to a case of Somalia or Sudan in Nigeria, God forbid.
All right, then. Great conversation as always. I mean, security matter is a very important conversation, and so it was important to get your perspectives on that. Thank you so much for joining us on the program tonight.
Thank you very
Bolarinwa,
much.
President, Think Yoruba First Organization. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, let's take a short break, and we'll return to the same conversation with security consultant Dr. Okwori. Perspectives on the security situation in Kwara and Kogi states. Meanwhile, the Ekiti State Police Command has intensified security measures across major entry and exit points following recent bandit attacks in neighboring Kwara and Kogi states. With Ekiti sharing borders with both states, the command says it was acting proactively to prevent any infiltration by criminal elements. Now, let's bring in security consultant Dr. Okwori, who joins me on the program. Good evening to you, Dr. Okwori. Thanks a lot for joining us this evening. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. So, I mean, kindly give us a brief overview of this recent attacks in both states. What do you know about the scale of the damage?
Yeah, let me start by saying that security concerns or security conversation is an ongoing one. Kwara has been in the eye of the storm lately when it has to do with incessant kidnappings and bandits attacks. Zamfara State, if you know, Zamfara State is the headquarters of bandits in Nigeria. And these bandits in Zamfara, they've decided to spill over to Kwara, you know, because of some relocations that they've decided to embark upon. Don't forget that they started attacking Niger State for a period now, and they decided to go into Kwara and all that. Now, these issues, for me, each time I appear on forum like this, these issues are not new. We've been hearing about these attacks by bandits, by terrorists, by kidnappers, and all that. But unfortunately, Kwara is now being confronted with these same issues. No, if we want to begin to look at it holistically, no state is being spared, you know, when it has to do with insecurity issues. Every state is confronted with one insecurity challenge or challenges or the other. But how have we been able to address these issues? Right? We should be looking at that direction now, because each time we appear like this, we keep talking about the challenges. The challenges are not new to the military, they are not new to the police, they are not new to the civil defense, they are not new to all the security agencies that we have. The police is about 95 years old. It was established in 1935 or so. The military, army, air force, navy, they are not more than 70 years old since they were established or created. The DSS, the DIA, and the NIA, they were all created in around 1986 or so. So the point I am making is that before now, we didn't have all these security agencies in place. But reasons why we have them now is because we are being confronted with insecurity issues. And they were established clearly for a purpose. They all have their mandate. When it has to do with the police has to do with detection and prevention of crime. When it has to do with DSS, the DSS has to do with coming up with domestic intelligence. The NIA has to do with international intelligence and all that. The military, of course, you know why they were established. Now, we have personnel in all of these security agencies. What are they doing? Yes, I understand that they are trying their best, but is their best good enough? Because we cannot continue to be confronted with these insecurity issues and we have these security agencies in place. Are they overwhelmed? If they're overwhelmed, they should come out and tell us. Right? And you see, these crimes are local. I've said it times without number. The crimes are local. These crimes happen in our very rural and semi-rural communities. Are the police there in these rural communities? The answer is no. Are the civil defense there? The answer is no. Are the military there? The answer is no. Are the the DSS, are they there? The answer is no. And that is why these criminal elements continue to have their way. They find these rural communities as fertile ground where no security agency or agents confront them. Right. Now, they are being confronted with these criminal elements. They are relocating from their ancestral communities, from their homes where they've been used to. They were born there, they live there, they carry out their livelihoods there. Most of them are peasant farmers or nada. Now, they've relocated from their community to other communities. These criminal elements are aliens in these very communities that they come to strike. How are they finding their way? How are they succeeding? Because they are collaborating with the locals that are within these communities. And that is why I keep talking about the effectiveness of community policing. How effective are we carrying out this community policing philosophy or strategy? It's a strategy that we expect that should work. Because if our security agents are in constant interaction with these members of our local communities, if there's an avenue or a channel in the event where they are being confronted or they suspect any attack, possible attack, they should have a channel or an avenue where they should be able to pass this information to. But we do have information, a channel such as that where they can pass this information across to our law enforcement agents? The answer is no. Do we have law enforcement agents that are there at their rural communities to be able to confront these criminal elements in the event when they come to strike? The answer is no. The DSS that is saddled with the responsibility of coming up with local intelligence, they are more interested in VIP protection rather than doing what their mandate clearly says they should do, right? So they have turned these communities where these violent attacks happen to a religious ground where all of them have gone together as usual. The usual deployment. The police will deploy, the military will deploy. Recently, the Chief of Army Staff asked the GOC of the division in Ibadan to relocate to Kwara State. If such directive is given, why must it be in the media, right? So some of these military or security operations that we carry out, I think they should avoid or try their possible best that this information don't get to the media, because these criminals are also there. They have access to radios, they have access to news. Their sponsors are out there passing this information to them, right? So there's a lot that we need to do as a country, as security agents. Community engagement is also missing. How well are they even engaging communities in terms of when you see something, say something? These bandits travel all the way from Zamfara or Sokoto through our local communities, either by road or by motorbikes and all that. Members of these communities, where they pass, see them. But do they pass this information to the relevant security agencies? If they pass this information to the relevant security agencies, how quick do they even respond to the emergency? Because we're talking about intelligence here. The military and the police, they need local intelligence to work with. Which organization or security agency do we have on ground that can provide or that provides local intelligence for the military and the police to work with, right? So there's a lot that we need to do.
Dr. Okwori, the truth is, before the creation of state police comes to fruition, before that happens, Nigerians must be protected. But again, would you say there was a lapse in coordination between local and federal security agencies? Or what do you think could have been done differently?
Now, the question is, do we even have local security agency? We don't even have. The subunits are there. They are not even active. How well are we even engaging with the subunits? Right? You can see the effort that Motekoni is making or doing in the southwest region. Do we even have such subunits in this north central region? When there was attack,
so I don't think the north central has a regional security outfit, but I think the states. I was going
to go there.
Okay.
I was going to go there. When Plateau had incessant attacks, sometimes last year, towards the end of last year, the North Central governors, they were all in Plateau to condole or to commiserate with the governor of Plateau. From that, after the meeting with the Plateau State governor, what are we doing as government to see that there's a solution to this thing?
And the
president recently gave an approval for the establishment of forest guards.
So I wanted to
Which
ask,
effort is the National Security Advisor and the other people, relevant stakeholders doing?
What do you think is the delayed implementation?
You see, a lot is when you say the implementation of what now? The forest guards?
Yes.
Now, this question is for the chief of the National Security Advisor to answer. But I can see that he is making some efforts, right? I see where some persons were recruited and they've been trained somewhere in Osun State and all that. But The fact is, we don't have time on our side. How long shall we keep procrastinating? Procrastination is the thief of time. People are being killed, citizens of this country that are law-abiding are being killed, are being kidnapped, money is taken from them, money that they don't even have. So we should act now. Enough of speeches. I've said it times without number. Enough of speeches. We should now begin to back these speeches, prepared speeches to come to security functions and begin to read. Right? We have able-bodied youth that I expect at this time we should see them embarking on trainings to see that they are recruited into the forest guards. Boundaries are protected and all that, and they are there either acting as saboteurs or they are being complacent because they have recorded some success. But don't forget that they think that as long as they think that they are recording successes, the criminals are always ahead and they are always planning ahead. I've said it on your show here that what the government and security agencies need to do is that criminals should not have the opportunity to always have the opportunity to strike. Right? So, all hands must be on deck. We need serious coordination, cooperation. The governor of Kwara, the governor of Kogi, what statements have they made? Yes, the governor of Kwara has been to these crime scenes and all that. But that is not enough. Right? We have heads of the security agencies within the state. I expect that the governor of Kwara, with the heads of security agencies within the state, and traditional rulers, they also have roles to play because these communities where these things happen, they also have traditional rulers from there. How well are they even engaging them? Right. Right. For them to bring out the information that they have at their beck and call. Right. The local government, do we have functional local government system in Kwara or in any parts of Nigeria? The local government system has been suffocated. They are not active. Right. The local government chairman is supposed to be working with the critical stakeholders within the local government where these things are happening. And Dr. also Okwori, at the state level.
With the kinds
but how functional is the local government system or the chairman?
And so with the kinds of reports we've seen or read from these two states in the past weeks, are we seeing a shift in the tactics or these changes? And secondly, many communities have now resorted to local vigilantes for protection. Is this a sustainable approach?
Let me tell you. Crime, I said, is local. Unfortunately, the section of the Constitution, Section 14(2)(b), which is the primary responsibility of government, security and welfare of the citizens. The citizens are not even talking about welfare. What they are after is their security. And as we are speaking, or as we are talking, the federal, state, and local government, these three tiers of government, they must work together to guarantee the security of citizens of this country, whether we like it or not. I didn't ask them to aspire for offices. They aspired for offices, and they were voted into power by the citizens of this country, and which they swore an oath to protect. Right? So we cannot continue to see citizens of this country dying, citizens of this country paying ransom, huge amount of money. Between July 2024 and June 2025, 2.56 billion naira was paid as ransom, right, by Nigerians. In how many incidents? How many incidents? 997 incidents. 4,722 Nigerians were kidnapped. 762 were killed within this year, July 2024 and June 2025. I've not even taken stock of the numbers that have been killed from June to October that we are, right? So a lot is happening. Right? Because these things that we'll see, or these things that we read or we hear, research that we have carried out, the facts are there. Look at the Global Terrorism Index of 2024. Nigeria is ranked 6th amongst the most terrorized nations out of 163 countries. What were the indicators or yardstick that were used during the survey? Number of incidents, fatalities, injuries, and hostages. You know, so what are we saying? The institute that carried out this survey, they relied on all this data, right? So a lot is not working. We need to stop promissory notes. We need to stop giving hope, right? Yes, there's nothing wrong with giving hope, but the hope should not be dragged this long. How long shall we keep telling the people or our people that perpetrators will be brought to book? Right. these things will not happen again and all that. The more we'll tell them, there are more assurances we give them, the more of these incidents or attacks that they see. So we should not have citizens that will continue to live in despair, right? They must continue to have hope. Let us see that
Dr.
the hope
Okwori,
is sustainable. They have guarantee.
So if you were consulted by, let's say, the Kwara State government, what immediate steps would you recommend the state government take within the next 3 to 6 months to secure or address insecurity?
Now, the advice I'm going to give the governor is that to address these issues, we must go local. We must look at how to engage members of our communities. In the event where they see something, they must say it. Now, I talked about collaboration between these bandits and some locals from these communities in Kwara. If these locals are there and they actually collaborated with these criminal elements from either Zamfara or Sokoto, within that community, the traditional rulers and members of the community should be able to identify their own that have betrayed them, because this is betrayal, right? Now, have they been able to identify their own from their own within their communities that have betrayed them by collaborating with these criminal elements to inflict this mayhem on their people? Have they been able to identify that? When I was growing up, I was familiar with police carrying out foot patrol. So there's a reason why police need to embark on foot patrol. You park your vehicle somewhere, embark on foot patrol. Effective oversight. The state has a state assembly. They must have committees on security and all that. How well have they collaborated with the state and with the security agencies to be able to carry out oversight functions effectively, to be able to establish that, yes, the monies that the governor at that level provides for them, because I know that governors provide logistics, vehicles, and some other things to support the security agencies in their state. How effective are they carrying out oversight functions to ensure that the monies and the vehicles provided are judiciously used for the purpose? We must ask questions. We must ask for accountability. And that's why they have been hired. If they are not hired to carry out the job of a legislature or voted to carry out, then why are they there? If the security agencies are not hired to carry out the security of providing security for the citizens of Kwara, then why are they being hired? They've been hired and they are being paid taxpayers' money. So they should justify the payment. We shouldn't see ourselves in a situation where people are found in their offices not doing what they are supposed to do and they are being paid. Meanwhile, they are failing in their responsibility and they are being paid for failure. It shouldn't happen like that. So there's need for collaboration between community stakeholders within these communities and the state government and as well as the local government. If the governors has the capacity to call for a state security meeting at the state, the local government chairman should also have the capacity. Now the question is, do they even have the resources to call for such meetings? Because you must bring traditional rulers from rural communities.
When you say, do they have the resources, what exactly do you mean?
Sorry?
When you say, do they have the resources, what kind of resources are you talking about?
Local government allocation. Does it go to the local government chairman straight? As we speak, governors are still tampering with the local government funds. And the local government chairman needs these resources to function. You expect a traditional ruler or a critical stakeholder that has one information to give to you or the other to come from his community. Security anywhere in the world is not cheap in addressing it. So we need resources. If the local government chairman calls for a security meeting at the local government level, with the DPOs and the heads of the DSS and civil defense at the local government level, the critical stakeholders that will come from their community, they need logistics to come and go. Does the chairman have the resources to give to them to mobilize them? If a stakeholder comes from his local government, from his rural community, and comes and gives that information, he expects to be reimbursed to go back, and you don't reimburse him. You think he will come back next time to give you such information? Right, so resources for local government should go straight to the local government because these crimes are grassrooted. We must see how to address this from there, and everybody must be held accountable for for their responsibility that they are failing.
And for the purpose of clarity, Dr. Okwori, how important is local intelligence in preempting security breaches?
Let me tell you, intelligence is good understanding of situations, of security issues. It's good understanding. If you don't have that good understanding, you will not achieve, you will not succeed. Now, if you have intelligence that these bandits are in XYZ community. Don't forget that we have actionable and non-actionable intelligence. In the event where the intelligence is an actionable one and you don't act that particular time, it becomes a news because you have failed to act. It's when the damage is done, it becomes a news item. And that is what we're experiencing now. It's all over the news that bandits have ravaged communities in Kwara State. But before now, I'm pretty sure that there was intelligence. But some security agencies or agents decided to be complacent. It didn't mean anything to them. Now we are seeing the effect of it. Right? So for us to succeed, we must ensure that an information that has gone through a process and has become intelligence, and an actionable one for that matter, the law enforcement agencies must act in synergy. They must work together. The goal is one, is to see that Nigerians are safe, the state is protected and all that, and as well as properties. In the event where one security agency or the other wants to take the glory, it can't work. Right? So we need intelligence, whether we like it or not. And for us to be able to achieve or get results, intelligence must be generated from the grassroots, because it is where these crimes happen. In the event when you don't get that intelligence from the local communities and other, you can't get that desired result. All right, and that is why I keep saying that the approval of the Mr. President of a security guard must be something that should be up and running as we are talking in this program.
Great place to leave the conversation tonight. Thank you so much. Security consultant, Dr. Stephen Okwori, thank you so much for sharing your insights and perspectives on this pressing security concerns in Kwara and Kogi states. Thank you so much for your time. Please have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for watching, everyone. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But before we go, let's tell you that the views and reactions of our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Meanwhile, you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at 12:30 a.m. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News.